You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm your host, Mark Burns, and unfortunately for this episode, I have not got my co-host, my compadre, the person who we normally dub as the voice of reason the voice of reason for UK Way and sometimes on The Burning Truth, even though we do switch it round from time to time. Unfortunately, I've got no John Ballore, and it looks like I'm going solo Joey Styles style. Basically for this week. And yes, just so you know, you might have probably also noticed that bit of a different day that we're doing this on. We'd normally do the live broadcast on a Sunday, normally it's Sunday 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, due to massive schedule limits, and yes, I will apologise that we did make the announcements very late, and that we did state that we will be doing it very, sort of just as when the original episode was meant to have been coming out. We should have, we threw out a message stating that we would be doing the episode today instead. Now, due to massive commitments on both sides, Ballore and myself, we've not been able to we've been unable to make arrangements to get a pre-recorded episode out due to heavy commitments, which has been absolutely unfortunate. Now, the other reason why it wasn't done for yesterday is because of myself, which I was actually in attendance for FCW, which I will state, what an absolute show it was yesterday for FCW. If anybody is interested in finding out, what had actually taken place, please check them out on their social media, because the show was absolutely brilliant and absolutely amazing to call. As I believe at the start of the night, it looked like I was doing it all by myself. Yes, I know a lot of you singing all by myself, probably. But then eventually, after most likely the first match had taken place, which was, I believe, the Wildcard Battle Royal match, but I was quickly joined by one of the participants, which I will apologise for a mini spoiler. I had Stephen Keane join me on the commentary later on, who was a participant in the match, but was unfortunately eliminated. And both of us, for the rest of the night, got to be able to call some absolute amazing action throughout the night. If you are interested in finding out more in regards to what happened, in regards to the results, please check out on Future Championship Wrestling's social media, the website, and you'll most likely find out all the results on there. But another reason why we decided to change it over to the bank holiday Monday was it feels a bit more. I'd be able to get a bit more special in this case, because there's a bit more time, more breathing space. And yes, there is quite a bit to discuss in regards to what's been coming up, what's been happening. Because we have got a lot to discuss, but I just felt as though we instead of me having to just either rush one out or cancelling it, I felt as though we needed to have one. But let me just state this for you. Yes, we are, as much as we can say, technically last week there was no episode in a way, because we've ended up moving it to the Bank Holiday Monday. It just means that this week, because as we're at the start of the week now, we're essentially going to be giving 2 this week. So yes, we will be returning back to our scheduled program, our regular scheduled programming, which will be on Sunday, anytime between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. I believe, on Sunday once again, and it should be and it should be next week, myself and John Ballore. Fingers crossed. If anything does change, we will most likely make you aware of it. But anyway, let's get down to business on the reason why we're all here. We've got to discuss some interesting, some WWE news, we've got some AEW news, and some UK wrestling news, of course. But ladies and gentlemen, let's just state this for a fact. I'll just get straight to the WWE news, which is 2 pieces for this week. And yes, there is that much that we normally have to content, and we've got to do a lot of catch up. I just felt as though this week, because I've got no John Belaw, some of the major points, some of the other points that we were going to originally plan are being saved for next week, most likely when John Belaw is back, or JB, as I sometimes call him. And no, I'm not saying it's Jeremy Borash, it's John Belaw in my case. But anyway, we'll just get down to the WWE news, which is the fact that it looks like the man, Becky Lynch is now engaged, and the person who's pretty much got on one knee is Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins is now officially proposed the question to the man Becky Lynch. They are now going to they're actually an engaged couple, soon to be. How does that work? I'm just thinking, do we say man and wife or man and man? Well, but we'll find out when we get to that later, when we have to cross that road, when the actual tying of the knot takes place. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say congratulations to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Absolutely, while happy for them, hope nothing but the best for them. However, let me just state this for the record. Please, 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 WWE, yes, you've made the announcement. Do not make this part of the storyline. Let them have their magical moments away from the wrestling. Because I felt as though when a lot of people found out they were dating, it got sort of pulled into WWE a bit too much, and it was force-fed. It was like, I know they were trying to use real life stories and everything, real life things that are happening at the time, but please, WWE, do not get involved in, don't bring up their engagement into WWE. Let them have their special moments outside and let them enjoy it. If you want them to still be the couple in there, that's fine, but don't. Let them have their moments. Allow them to have their moments. Don't try to take anything away from them, because it could end up doing more damage than you possibly think, especially putting a spotlight on it. Anyway, moving on from that, ladies and gentlemen, as the WWE is, with the WWE Network and everything, and we've got Total Divas and everything, which is a bit, on, I believe, on the E Network over in America, but it's part of the WWE Network over on, for everybody to check out, I think. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting a new season of Total Divas, which is October. Which is season 9, which is most likely going to be starting off on 2nd of October. But ladies and gentlemen, the interesting fact is who's going to be on the new season. We're having 2 wrestlers joining the Total Divas roster. The scheduled programming, which is none other than Sonya Deville, which is absolutely interesting, and somebody who I think is a great pick for it. Especially, I feel as though she could bring much to Total Divas. But at the same time, she's not the only one joining. We've got none other than Rowdy Ronda Rousey's also going to be joining. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, "But why would Ronda Rousey? Because she's going to classify herself as a wrestler, as an MMA star. She's not a diva or anything." But here's the thing: it's with Total Divas. What I find so interesting is the fact that it's actually showing the them outside of out of the wrestling as. Some people could say it's a bit of a mockumentary, it's not real and everything, but we're going to be getting an in-depth look on 2 new WWE wrestlers, which is going to flip a bit more of a flip side perspective. At the same time, you'll probably get to see Ronda Rousey probably I believe with her current husband, who I'm just literally getting the article that brought it to my attention, because as I said, they are officially being brought in October, which straight away it will have information where she's talking to her MMA fighter husband Travis Brown, and during her time in WWE working on the ranch, and Browsy Acres and everything, and going on much more from there. Whereas with Sonya Deville, it'll be most likely focusing on her living out and proud, and that she's looking for a serious relationship and respect in the ring, which is, it's going to be very interesting on how they're going to be doing it. So, just take into account that currently we've already got cast members like Natalya, Naomi, Nia Jax, Kamala, with guest appearances from the Balor Twins, who have also got their own show, which is, I believe, Total Ballas. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to wait and see what comes from this. But it's going to be very, very interesting in regards to that. Now, I know we are possibly a little bit late to this piece of news, which is, yes, this one has been announced that Jon Moxley has been injured, unfortunately, which means he has been removed from AEW's All Out, which is absolutely unfortunate because he was originally scheduled against none other than Kenny Omega, which would have been an absolute amazing fight. Absolutely would have knocked it out the park, but unfortunately injuries do take place. But as the old adage saying goes, the show must go on, and with AEW, they have dug in deep and stated that yes, the show must go on, and have found a replacement to go against Kenny Omega, and that is none other than let's just use some of his old names. And yes, I will state that with this episode being scheduled, I will state that some of the language that I will be using a term that is not very. It's audio discretion will be advised due to the language, but I will just state it most likely. This guy's got many nicknames, and I'll mention the main two, which is one of them being the man that gravity forgot, and the other one being the bastard, or a bastard, Pac. Now, that is an absolute stellar match that anybody on paper, that is going to be amazing. Anybody wants to watch that match, and the question is who can come out in this match? It's anybody's game. We don't know. So if anybody is interested in seeing what goes on at All Out, you've got definitely that match to look out for, which will be a complete absolute barn burner. It's as JR would say, it's going to be a pretty much slobber knocker. But as I just mentioned, JR, nice little segue that is, because JR, yes, everyone knows that on AEW that JR does actually do the commentary. He isn't doing it alone. He has got Excalibur on there with him, which is absolutely brilliant. But they've now got another veteran broadcast announcer on there as well, which will be none other than Tony Schiavone, which is going to be interesting, especially seeing as yes, we know that JR has probably worked with Tony Schiavone. They might have done some stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see what is brought in. Yes, it's great to see Tony Schiavone being brought up again onto the bit more of a much more mainstream, with AEW. But it's going to be absolutely brilliant to see what is coming from. But not only that, Tony Schiavone will also be serving the company as a senior producer, senior producer behind the scenes. And let me just state, he hasn't just signed up for just 1 year; he signed up for a multi-year deal with AEW, which is allowing him to join. Allowing him to join to join his broadcast team along with WWE veteran Jim Ross and Excalibur. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can also say I'm looking forward to this because it's just going to be really interesting to see where we go from this, especially with the fact that he'll also But the interesting thing about this is he's still going to be continuing his announcing duties for MLW for the time being at the moment in time. But as for if he continues further on, we'll have to wait and see what goes on. But it's going to be absolutely interesting how this is all called. But There's only one way to find out. We'll have to just wait and see how that all turns out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're now coming into the coming back from overseas over to the UK. Yes, I know this is going to be a bit of self-plugging right now, but this is two topics I want to cover. Yes, as I stated, this is going to be most likely the final two topics, which is going to be most likely self-plugging with me being one half owner of UKWA. But I just thought to just get this announcement out that UKWA, Ready for War will be soon on Turnbuckle TV, as we are hopefully getting that on as soon as possible. As soon as there's an official date, it will be pretty much placed all over the social media, so please keep an eye out in regards to that on UKWA social media, as that will be. I can also say, this show is an absolutely amazing show, one I'd highly recommend, and looking forward to all future shows as well. But speaking of future shows, as on November 23rd, UKWA has got the next event, which I will clearly state. I'll just get down to what I'm trying to get off my chest straight away, which is the fact that we've had some alarming footage be sent into UKWA, which has been brought to our attention, and I can honestly say it's absolutely shocked myself. It has shocked numerous members of the higher up, as it's been very massively unexpected, especially with the fact that we've had footage of the Black Country Bulldog viciously attacking Steve Keane. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, why is this transpired? Now, if a lot of you, not everyone is on social media, of course. Now, the interesting thing about it is the fact that recently on social media, we had the Black Country Bulldog pretty much throwing down a bit of a challenge, which is fair enough. We do actually have a fair numerous open challenges being thrown around and everything. Now, at nothing burns like the cold, which is on the 23rd of November. We have got the Black Country Bulldog, who was literally throwing his open challenge, because he was stating after the Rumble on August 10th, from Ready to War, the Black... Let me just state this. On his special announcements, he put, This is War. Let me just state this to you, Black Country Bulldog. It was Ready for War, not This is War. The song for the trailer was This is War. But, anyway, back to business. Black Country Bulldog was, as approached management. Now, the management itself wasn't myself. It was probably my business partner, Renee, and, saying that they're ready to prove himself. So she might have actually given him the one, to pretty much go out there, as he was issuing anybody who was in the Rumble who did not make it to the last 5, to a chance to redeem himself, and anybody who thinks you can take him, pretty much take him up on his challenge. Now, Stephen Keane was pretty much adamant, jumped straight in and stated, he was more than ready to take on the challenge, pretty much. It's not been great for him and everything, and even he said he didn't do too well. But the fact is, he's throwing a bit of spotlight, so he's jumped in. So they're basically both of them clamoring for the spotlight, which is fair enough, because it's both, two competitors fighting for a spot, and it looks like Renee is most likely giving him that chance. Which, if with her giving him that chance, I've got no obligation for it, because it's an opportunity, which is what UKWA is always about. We're always really willing to give opportunities. Now, what was so alarming is the fact that, yes, that it looks like the challenge has been met, but I don't know if it's actually official, if that match was taken official. However, the Black Country Bulldog might have made it official, or possibly not, or he might have actually tried to take him, remove Stephen Keane from the situation, especially when we've got the Black Country Bulldog pretty much viciously attacking Stephen Keane, from behind, from a vicious attack, throwing him headfirst into a white van, beating, using the back doors of the van, slamming against his head, and then pretty much throwing Steve Kean into the van and pretty much vacating the area. Now, let me just state this for record, that, myself, and I will state, as much as from time to time, me and Renee don't always communicate on certain choices, because we both have that option, as we are both, we own half the company ourselves in our very own right at the same time. So there are some choices in regards to this. Both of us actually pretty much were a bit alarmed by this, and yes, we are very much looking into this matter, and we have made certain calls and queries in regards to this, and made certain local authorities aware of the situation, and we hopefully, and I mean fingers crossed, hopefully certain things in regards to Stephen Kean do come about. As right now, myself, I've not been made aware of this, but there could be potentially an announcement from Renee, or possibly being sent up onto the UKWA social media pages soon or shortly. I don't know myself, but as soon as I know myself, I'll hopefully get it up on there myself, or Renee will probably get the announcement put out on social media as well. As soon as we know ourselves, we will get the information out. Fingers crossed that Stephen Kean is somehow managed to get away from the situation. He and hope and fingers crossed. Nothing serious, drastically serious has happened in regards to this. But we will hopefully bring more information in regards to this. We'll have to just wait and see what transpires from what happens. But let me just state this. I will state this for the record, that I am not happy personally with the Black Country Bulldog doing this vicious attack, and if Stephen Kean is not returned in healthy in safe condition, in the fact if he's not returned to where he was taken, returned to his family, if he is not returned safely to his family, there will be consequences for the Black Country Bulldog, and I am stating that for a fact. Believe me when I say this, Black Country Bulldog, if you do not return Stephen Kean back to his family, you are basically making this choice only one way. I will make sure you are fired, and that if anything has happened to Stephen Kean, that legal action will be taking place. And I will hopefully be aiming for that to take place, be it from Stephen Kean's family and in every regards. But fingers crossed, hopefully Stephen Kean is found, and if anybody does actually have any information, please send it into the UKWA. We want to keep up to date, but if we know anything, we'll hopefully get to the bottom of this. But unfortunately, we've got to move. That is going to be the last topic of this week's episode. I know we're ending the episode on a bit of a unfortunate news, but fingers crossed, Stephen Kean is hopefully returned to us. I'll hopefully return to his family in safe condition. But ladies and gentlemen, as for next week's topics that we'll most likely cover, it'll most likely probably cover a update in regards to the current situation in regards to Stephen Kean and the Black Country Bulldog. Fingers crossed, hopefully. And also, we will probably have some surprise topics for you next week. But in regards to this, I'm just going to quickly go through some of the plugs that we normally do, which is the fact that we always recommend you check out UKWA, UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Beginner classes are on Monday, which are £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. If you have to location, please check out on the social media, most likely on their Facebook, for the full location details. We recommend you check out JG Printing and Stitching. Absolutely do fantastic work, especially polo shirts, which I've actually got an official Burning Truth one, which is absolutely amazing. Please check out JFX3D on social media, because they have to do amazing custom made bounce, because I believe I actually saw, some of their work yesterday at FCW, especially with the snazzy new Black Country Championship, which looks absolutely amazing. We also recommend you check out, charitable organisations, just in case, like Mind, changes for you, changes for health and well-being, and of course Messy for Mind. Especially, we've always got to state this. You need to check out, keep things positive for your mental health, but at the same time, that is not the only thing I'm going to be, for. I know we mentioned changes, but at the same time, there's also Changes Recovery Radio, which is going live soon. Please check them out as well. The one thing I will state is that most of the charities that we have just mentioned, just in one hit, all cover most likely mental health, basically making sure you take care of your mental state and mental health and mental well-being, which is massively important. So as always, please make sure you always keep in check on yourself. And it's, in some case, from time to time, if you do require help and everything, please seek it, because as I believe Messy for Mind does state, on some of their posts, it's okay to not be okay. Please seek help and attention. But if you are after some incredible information, please check out Changes Recovery Radio, Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Mind, and of course Messy for Mind as well. Please check out bands. With amazing bands like The New Breed, Camens and Blackpool. Absolutely amazing music. I highly recommend it myself. And of course, if you want to the lighter side of things of wrestling, please check out that was almost a case wording for me to be on either one of these, which I'm about to announce. If you are interested in the lighter side of wrestling, please check out Botchamania and WrestleCraft, which is absolutely amazing. You welcome Matthew and of course welcome RD Reynolds. But as also we also recommend you check out OSW Review, who, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew does actually have special guest appearances on there as well. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in the light side, please check them out. Please check out Phil DeFranco with him, always bringing interesting news, always on YouTube, which is almost the regular program, which is Monday to Thursday, and he has a bit of a catch up on all the news articles that he's covered. On Friday is a bit of a catch up, which he makes it into a discussion. Please check out When Fandom Strikes on her YouTube, and of course on TikTok, which is where I actually got introduced to When Fandom Strikes with her amazing series, which is Thoughts That Keep Me Up at Night, which is absolutely amazing. We also recommend you please check out on social media Luke Moto, who, if I'm not mistaken, he has made a bit of a gamble, stating if he gets 100 people following on his brand new YouTube channel, he will dye his hair bright blue. Unfortunately, you've got to pay the piper. So if you're interested in seeing that, please check out Luke Moto, and of course he has also got his gaming channel, which is Gaming Moto. But for more YouTube stuff, we also recommend you please check out First We Feast, especially the series Hot Ones. And yes, they have just recently had a bit of a series finale for that series for the latest season, which ended up ending with none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that is one series I highly recommend everyone to check out. And of course, if you are interested in finding out all things geeky, nerdy, and of course Marvel, DC information, everything, please check out podcast, of course, Geek of the Week, which is hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams, who I will state is an absolute amazing person who I've got 100% absolute credit for. He's always been entertaining and always brings a smile to my face whenever I've actually seen him on in regards to it. I also would like to state for the record as well. Please check out, of course, The Independent, which is an absolute amazing, an absolute amazing, it's amazing podcast, podcast, especially with the likes of David Starr. We've also got Sugar Dunk. Amazing interviews there. I would absolutely highly recommend. It's something that, hand on heart, I would state for the record, everyone should actually check out, of course. But at the same time, it's definitely, especially with the things that they are actually trying to do, which is they are actually trying to get a sort of, it's almost like, it's, how do I say this? They also try and get fair trade for independent workers and everything, and also make the industry a bit more interesting and more fair for independent workers. At the same time also arguing the feel of independent worker against contracted worker, but at the same time they're also saying it's not an actual argument. It's just I believe on one of the interviews that was taking place is the fact that you've also got some people who can be an independent worker and also contracted at the same time, which is absolutely interesting, and of course it's something I would highly recommend you check out. So remember, it's We the Independents, and if you want to go onto their website, the other also got a website which is We the Independents, also on social media. In case if you can't type out the full name of it, you do actually have a short abbreviation name, which is We the Indie, and that is Indie with IE, not a Y, because they're indie. Yes, I know, I borrowed it off their podcast. I had to. Of course, another podcast I'd also recommend everybody to check out, which is Train Pop Culture. Absolutely, it's a brand new one that I've literally just got into myself, and one that on their first episode where they pretty much they call the end of an Attitude Era, which is where they pretty much do some interesting topics where they're covering some of the WWE most iconic, and basically touching on where it's hypothetically ending careers of some of the most iconic and what would be the best way to do it. But if you're interested in checking it out, please do check that out. I highly recommend it. It's something I've listened to myself, and it's absolutely brilliant. So highly recommend it. And of course, if you have to all custom made music, of course, custom made entrance music, custom made theme songs, could be for a podcast, could be for a broadcast, could be entrance music, could be for big special events. Please check out Kayfabe Music UK. They do absolutely amazing music, and something that I might be possibly looking into myself. So, I'll, if I do end up using them, I will be, letting you know in regards to that for future reference. And of course, I also recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV. Now, why would I recommend Turnbuckle TV? Other than that, yes, the UK giveaway shows are on there, but why else would I also recommend everybody check out there? There is a large number of companies on there, and it's absolutely amazing on how many there is. The fact that you're able to get a monthly subscription for all these companies and be able to check them out, for one monthly price, one monthly scheduled price each month, and you think, what is that price? What is it through the roof? Is it like the WWE Network? Is it £10? Is it that? No, it's not £10 like the WWE Network. In fact, it's less. And everyone's thinking, oh, is it £8? Is it £6? Is it £5? Ladies and gentlemen, it's not even £5. It is the actual price for Turnbuckle TV each month is none other than £3.99. Now, a lot of people are thinking, that's almost £4. Now, break that down almost. There's, at the very least, almost 4 weeks in a month. Almost close to. It's almost basically stating to everybody, £1 a week. £1 a week. That is an absolute bargain price for multiple companies, with new companies coming in almost every week, with almost new content not every week new companies, companies coming in and go, companies joining onto Turnbuckle TV all the time, but almost contact almost every week, which is always getting renewed, fresh new information on there, and it's absolutely amazing. We highly recommend it out. But £1 a week, what more can you ask for? It's an absolute bargain. And of course, we always recommend you check out your local wrestling. For examples, United Wrestling Academy, Academy Pro Wrestling, FCW, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and many, 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 many more. I believe, John Bull would have probably mentioned Falling Star, Future Shock Wrestling, and many others, of course. But let me just state this. One thing I will state is that next week that there is a show that I'm actually involved at, which is happening on next Friday, which is United Wrestling, and yes, I will be taking on none other than Barricade, which I will be most likely on Sunday when I'm actually doing the episode. Probably going to be a little bit bruised, But whether, I'll have to update you on whether I'm successful or whether I've been pretty much put through the canvas. Well, either way, that could still happen either way. You never know. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is something I'd recommend. And the interesting thing about it is everyone's saying, I just recommend you check out your local wrestling. And everyone keeps saying, well, we can't always find out our local wrestling. We don't know where it is. We don't know where it is. Is there any way we can find out? There's an app for that. Simple. How about you all check out Babyface Wrestling UK, the app, which is absolutely amazing because you will be instantly able to find any local wrestling show around you, because at the same time you can do it on certain areas. But the best thing about it is that you can actually have it so from my location, from a certain distance, you can actually plug that in and you can find local wrestling that is close to you, and with some hint of matching best way to get tickets and everything. It's absolutely amazing. It's something I'd highly recommend. And the best is this application to get for the low price of nothing, absolutely nothing. So if you are on Babyface Wrestling UK, just do me a favour. If you find me on there, Matt Burns, please just give me a bit of a follow, and of course follow UKWA, of course, and also your own local promotions, of course, as always. Just, as I've already named a few. But last but not least, I'd also recommend you all check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. I could just go through what's already on there, but let me just say that you already know what's on there, more than likely. Some of the links that, I've already mentioned, some of the things I would give shout outs to are on the links, or under the links section. But let me just state this: if you do go to their, to the external websites, we cannot be held responsible for the content on external websites, as we do not have control of external websites. So please be aware of that. And of course, please check out our social media, which is we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course we are on Twitter, which the handle for Twitter is a little bit different, which is, I'll spell it out for you, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course we've also got some past episodes on Spotify. I am trying to hopefully get some more recent updates, more updated episodes on Spotify, and hopefully get it more scheduled regularly. But we'll have to wait and see on if that is possible. But that is going to be a wrap up for this week. So hopefully we'll be returning to our regular schedule program on Sunday. So until then, I'd like you all to please stay well, stay safe, and as always, please, please, please check out your local wrestling. Until then, I'll catch you laters.